think this play addresses?
There's just the whole battle of whether it's where it starts to form the line between conservative and liberal in a way. And so there's Amanda kind of starting the whole feminist movement, and then there's the whole civil rights aspect to it too. So it's a really interesting mix of a bunch of different things.
Something that makes, any work of art good is the fact that it's timeless and addresses themes that are tied into all eras and with human issues, such as, not only keeping secrets and self-discovery and self-awareness, but also how that affects your relationship with other people. Friendships, will they last? Holding on to those even though they're fleeting, and just trying to enjoy life as much as you possibly can when times are definitely changing, and that's something people never want to accept is change. And I feel at the end of the late 60s, entering the 70s, when the show takes place, that's something that's just completely consuming the American culture and state of mind, is moving forward and into this new type of counterculture that was really emerging, as well as having to deal with taboo subjects such as homosexuality and racism and free feminism as well. All things we deal with today.
What are the historical social events that happened during this play?
The death of Martin Luther King Jr.
Bobby Kennedy.
That was me, man. I'm sorry.
Give it to us, Jonah, because it wasn't a death. What was it, man?
An assassination.
That's
There
right.
we go. Vietnam, that's mentioned.
That's right.
Kind of lightly though, but
Shoot-ups in Chicago.
corporal punishment.
The Black Panthers in Chicago.
Corporal punishment.
And who else was assassinated that year in 1968?
Bobby Kennedy.
Indeed. Did anybody learn anything about that besides Sadie Hawkins?
Well.
Should have.
What about, Anthony, tell me what's the same about being in high school now as being in high school then?
Really, everybody just, no matter what time period, everybody's facing adversity. And a big thing about my character, Harley, is that he's always facing hard times, and sometimes he doesn't know who to look to get through those hard times, which is something that, even I do in high school, so I can really connect with Harley. Really, there's not much difference. I wouldn't say high school's changed that much over the years.
So what are you going to tell people to come out and see this play? What do you say about it? What do you want to say to them? Zuri.
I'd say if you see it, you gotta get ready. It's not like your average play where you're just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go see this nice little play. It's kind of a tearjerker once you get to the end.
And what's unique about this opportunity for you in high school? Is this like every other play every other high school does? No, because you're part of the teen ensemble at Chicago Street, that's right?
Yeah.
And we try to find plays that are what?
Challenging.
Or age.
Age-oriented, appropriate for you, that deal with issues. Am I prompting too much?
Did anybody find it difficult to find their characters?
No, to a certain extent I hate Davis because I can relate to him too much. I'm the guy who people go to, like, even if people don't know me, I'm very open. My job is, I feel like my personal niche in society, amongst the people my peers, I take on their problems. I let them vent. They can vent as long as they like. I somehow tend to offer good advice with what little experience I have. And that's my thing. I don't open up to people. I hate opening up to people. Like, that's not my job. People open up to me because my problems aren't really worth their time. And I feel that I've had a lot of I've been struggling with getting into the character of Davis, because it's not that I don't know who he is, it's that I don't want to show that I'm just like him in that aspect. And it's still definitely something I'm struggling with, but I think I'm more and more coming to terms with it. But really playing somebody who's very similar to you, I think, is actually harder to do, because you have to become even more vulnerable to the audience, which is something I absolutely hate to do, but I have to do it now.
Interesting.
What have you guys learned from each other from collaborating as a cast?
Have you collaborated?
Of course.
They do an awful lot of chatting.
Yeah.
I think we get along really, really well, which is a blessing.
In the weirdest way, though.
It
In
is.
the weirdest way.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
Like, pass each other, you know, go home. Hi.
We have a very beautiful love-hate relationship.
Just the energy in this cast is great too. Like we all just, I feel like the energy is just constantly like bouncing off everyone, and everyone's included in it. It's just great. Well, I mean, I find it great.
It's pretty awesome.
Anthony looks good in leather.
We all like Anthony as a bad boy.
Well, I don't want to brag, but
It's sad of you we never see.
I learned a lot about Jonah. In the sense that I didn't know that he had never done something, well, not something, but really theater too much before this, right? And I wouldn't have known. He was fantastic. Kind of blew my mind. I was like, awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never done anything with Chicago Street Theater. I've done some shows at MOH, some other places. The high school, I've been in all those shows there every year. I've been in high school. So definitely, to get to work in a cast like this was definitely very unique. I haven't been in a small teen group ever, and I think that's really interesting. And I have colleges to get into next year, so I have a lot of stuff I really need to take care of. So I think this is actually going to be the last community show I do for a while. So I feel actually rather blessed to have this cast and have this show be my last one before I head off. So you guys are really, really amazing. I came into the show having no idea what to expect, and you guys have blown my mind. You guys
Oh,
are
I'm
great.
gonna cry.
Awkward simultaneously.
And once more, Anthony in leather.
How about classes? Anybody take classes here?
I'd say
I'd
class.
say classes here.
Yeah.
Tell us about
Yeah.
the classes.
They're amazing.
They're the best ever.
Informative.
I did learn a lot.
I do learn a lot in those.
Well, if somebody were coming to watch this and they didn't know that they had the opportunity as a teenager to take classes here and to become a part of this, how would you explain it and tell them about it?
It's awesome.
You learn a lot.
It's a great way to like understand how to hone everything. Like instead of just being like, I'm just gonna go for it, you learn how to pick up on different traits of a character, different terms of theater, and all these different kind of things that help you really extend your knowledge of acting to an extent that you didn't know could be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I'd say it really helps you to express yourself a little more, not only as yourself, but express yourself through a character more, which is really a lot of fun to me, I think.
It also doesn't, it kind of shows us that a lot of people think that acting is just like some common hobby that people do, but it's much more than that. It's an amazing thing that a lot of people should do.
It really broke me out of my shell. Just being out there in front of people, it takes a lot of guts, but you have to go in it being ready to get over hurdles and go into it without fear. And for me, that was a huge like shell breaking experience, and it really helped me to kind of even learn more about myself, kind of what Mitch was saying.
And how many opportunities are there to do that here in Northwest Indiana?
Not for this age group.
Yeah, not for this age group
Yeah.
at all.
Everything's sports related. And
No.
Which is exactly why it's important that Chicago Street has this for you guys, right?
Oh yeah.
Definitely. I love
I think this is my favorite. It's really cool. This is something very unique. I think that's pretty rad.